So what I want to do is talk about the process
Okay.
that you go through.
Yep.
Imagine that someone's inquired about the software. They don't have a point of sale system in their business.
Yep.
And they're getting you into their business for the first time. Possibly, a little nervous about technology.
Yep.
They might be worried about talking to you because you're a salesperson representing a point of sale company,
Yep,
and
fair
they're
enough.
possibly worried that you're just going to come in and say, "Hey, get this,
Sign here.
So what process do you go through?
It's pretty relaxed. I'll speak to them on the phone. If they're close by, CBD, I'll make a time to come and see them. If they're further away, I'll book a time to do an online demo. In the meantime, before I go and see them, I'll do a bit of research. So a whole bunch of stuff actually. I'll have a look on Google Maps to see where they are, what sort of area they're in, and see if they've got a website, see what type of products they sell, what promotions they might do, just so I know how that's going to tie in with retailer. And then when I walk in, I'll have a look around the shop first before I go and announce myself. And then I'll sit down and go through the software. And all of that stuff that I've done before allows me to know whether they do like catalogues, buy this, get that free, or 20% off this range. And then I can show them how that works. And also if they do any loyalty, then I know that we can kind of tie that back in and make that a bit easier for them.
So that research you do sounds a bit stalky.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But it also prepares you for what you're going into.
Yep.
And you find that helps?
Yeah, absolutely. It helps me understand what they need rather than me going in and just giving them this kind of crazy demo. I can go in and say, hey, you do this. We can make that easy by using these features.
And in that initial meeting, the first meeting you have with them,
Yep.
how much of the time is spent asking them questions to learn about their business?
I look at there's no kind of set process for it. Everyone's different. Sometimes it'll be a very kind of overview process where they just want to know about features and how it handles certain things. Other times it'll be a very technical demo where it could be 3 or 4 hours where they want to know how to use point of sale, they want to know how to set up the buttons, how to configure promotions, how to use every little feature.
And what if they're nervous?
No one's really nervous. I mean,
Is that because you're so charming?
Yeah, absolutely. No, look, I don't know. It's pretty easy going. If I'm not there to really pressure them into doing it. It's just about making sure it's the right thing for their business.
They would know that how you're paid is probably including some commission component. So automatically there would be, I would think, if I'm dealing with a salesperson, there'll be some, they just want to get the sale so they can make the money.
Yeah.
So, how do you represent yourself in terms of trying to close the deal, but also not wanting to pressure them? Do you leave the timing up to them, or?
Yeah, look, the it's completely their decision. Some there is urgency. It might be a new business opening, and then we need at least sort of 2 or 3 weeks' notice to get things organised. But yeah, it's when they're ready to do it.
But it's not your urgency.
No, it's not at all. I mean, we're always busy, so that just kind of blends in with it.
So your family, it's regardless.
Oh, I like to hope.
So when you're in that situation, again, thinking about a new business, a business that doesn't have any point of sale system, they've approached you with a feeling of some nervousness. And you've had your first demonstration with them, you've shown them the software.
Yep.
You've possibly sent them a quote to say it's going to cost this much. They're shocked at how much it's going to cost. They want you to come back and explain it to them, and maybe explain it to some friends as well.
Yeah.
How often would you go back and?
Look, it depends. I mean, I would say quite a few. It's a same day process where I'll do the demo. I'll write out a quote while I'm there, and they're happy with it, and we go from there. Other times I'll go back and walk them through the software again, or walk them through the quote. However they want it to work.
There was one situation, I think, and we don't need to name the business, but one where you had to drive for 3 or 4 hours to go and do a second visit.
There's many of those. Yeah.
And in that situation, I know you did it just to make sure that the customer knew what they were getting.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to be sure with that stuff. References are a huge part of what we do. A lot of our sales come from, hey Tim, you did this install a couple of months ago. I want what they've got, and I want to make the most of those.
And you're also doing more online demos where a
Yeah.
business might be 3 or 4 hours away and you kind of can't get to them very quickly. So
Yeah.
you'll do it online and they can see the software
Yeah,
live.
it's easy as I just I don't know if you've used it, but I just email a link. They click that, they can see my screen, and I just talk them through on the phone what I'm showing them.
And you've had success selling the system in
Yeah.
that situation.
Yeah, a bunch of times. I had one in the last couple of weeks where the shop they were opening was very close to where I was, and I could have easily gone and seen them, but they were moving from a different state, and so did an online demo, sold them the system, went back in and saw them after it's been installed, and yeah, all good.
And so you hadn't seen them until it was installed?
No, I hadn't. I didn't meet them until after it was all done, all settled, and they were loving it.
Yeah. So in this marketplace, how retail's changing so much. Years ago, when you were selling, it would be always you go and do a demo in store. Now it's in store. It could be online or a mixture of both.
Yeah.
And so that to me reflects part of how retail's changing.
Yeah.
You're seeing other ways retail's changing?
I don't understand the question. As in how their retail business is changing?
How retail generally is changing. How retailers deal with suppliers is changing.
Yeah.
So retail itself, I would think, is changing too. There's the challenge of online, there's the challenge of big business versus small business, the challenge of imports, where you've got some retailers losing business to import businesses. So
Yeah.
retailers are having to fight harder for every buck they make.
Yeah, look, they are. I mean, every retail business is under pressure these days. It's no longer someone just buys a business and it's a walk in the park. Like, I think a lot of people look at it as in when they're buying a business, it's a lifestyle change, they'll get more holidays, blah, 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 but it takes a lot of work.
Can you help them deal with those changes?
Yeah, well, a whole bunch of ways. I mean, there's the stock control aspect, the fact that they can carry less, so that fixes cash flow issues. They know what's selling, so they know to stock more of that. There's a heap of different features for it.
Yeah. And you give them confidence that you can help with that.
Yeah, we've been doing it for 30 years. Yeah.
Thanks.